Welcome back, everyone. And I thought that was short and productive. And we're back in regular session now. And I just have a couple of remarks I'd like to make. There will be a special meeting of this board on Wednesday, June 30, 2021. And that special meeting is going to be primarily focused on awarding the second solicitation for offshore wind. So I'm sure that's going to create a lot of interest and for that meeting. So that meeting again will start, and Ada, if I'm saying anything incorrect, you're going to correct me, right? That meeting will start at 10 o'clock in the morning, and that meeting will be the first, we're planning on it to be the first in-person meeting for the commissioners and staff. No
correct.
public at this point. It will be live streamed, just as this meeting is being live streamed, so that the public can certainly be a part of the meeting. So that's going to be June 30, 10 a.m. And we look forward to you dialing in or.
President, it's 11 a.m. I'm sorry. It's 11 a.m. not 10 a.m.
It's 11.
That is correct.
I'm sorry. It's 11 a.m. Scratch the 10 a.m. Thank you, Christine. 11 a.m. on Wednesday, the 30th. And during the 2 summer months, July and August, we'll be having just one meeting a month at this point, unless a special meeting is required. The meeting in July will be Wednesday, July 14th, and that is at 10 a.m. And our meeting in August will be Wednesday, August 18th, and that also will be at 10 a.m. So stay alert for any changes or variations in those meetings or additions during those 2 months. You've probably read in the press that the moratorium ends on utility shutoffs, ends next Wednesday, June 30. And what the governor and the board have done is given a 6-month grace period on shutoffs to give the ratepayer an opportunity to get their finances in order, to get in contact with their utility, to set up a payment plan, or to apply for one of the many assistance programs that we have here in the state to assist in paying down the arrearages that were accumulated during the height of the pandemic. So I would encourage everyone who does have an arrearage challenge to please reach out to their utility. Reach out to your utility and set up a payment plan. Utilities are very eager, 1, to hear from you, and 2, to work with you. If that's not an option for you, please apply for one of the assistance programs that we have here in the state of New Jersey. Vitally important. If you need that help, we are here to help you. And I know the governor wants that message sent loud and clear. Through social media, the board is going to be promoting exactly what I just said, either apply for an assistance program or a payment plan with your utility. The utilities will be also advancing that message through their various venues. So there's going to be a lot out there to hopefully remind people that this 6-month grace period, which will end on December 31st, 2021, is available for your convenience to help you get your finances in order after this prolonged pandemic that we've all experienced. So please take advantage of this grace period. And let's start moving toward a more normal environment. If there are any questions, you can always reach out to the Board of Public Utilities or to your utility to get any clarification that's needed. So thank you for that. Also, I would like to, again, recommend any New Jerseyan who's listening who has not been vaccinated against COVID, please give it very serious consideration. A vaccinated New Jersey is a safer New Jersey. We are one of the few states where at least 70% of our population has had at least one vaccine shot. So it's important. Please consider, if you've gotten the one shot, go back for that second shot. If you haven't initiated that first shot yet, please give it very serious consideration for your well-being, for the well-being of those that you love, and for society and community in general. Please consider getting that shot. Also, our next meeting is going to be on June 30. And as I indicated, 11 a.m. We'll see you then. Do any of my colleagues have any opening remarks that they would like to make?
Mr. President, I am faceless. My video is blocked.
Well, we're missing your face, Upendra.
I know it's not much to miss. Yeah.
I'm not responsible for that.
I
Okay,
know.
Bob didn't cut him off, apparently.
Oh, now I can. Now I can see. See,
There
I'm
you
back.
are.
I thought I got lost in the galaxy. I'm back.
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
Yeah, but I'm
Good.
free from COVID. Yeah. No, I
Could
think,
be the Iranians.
yeah, Mr. President, thank you for those comments. I think it is important that we cannot but underscore the importance of the ending of the moratorium. And of course, there is a grace period, but I think a grace period gives you 6 months to get your finances in order. And also one thing I wanted to say that for the first time, New Jersey celebrated Juneteenth, and the governor declared that as a holiday. I think that was a historic moment for the state of New Jersey.
Very good, yes. Yep, and it became a state holiday, and it's also become a national holiday, and rightfully so. Anyone else? Okay, Madam Secretary, would you please do the consent agenda?
Thank you, Mr. President. On the following consent agenda items, 1A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 7A, and 9A.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fairlisa.
Yes. Thank you, Ada. And let's go on to the regular agenda, please. Audits. There's one item under audits that we have to consider. Alice?
Good morning, Mr. President and
Good morning,
commissioners.
Alice.
Good morning.
You just had a birthday.
Like a beautiful day. What did you
just had a
say?
birthday recently, didn't you? Happy birthday.
Thank you. It's tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
June babies are very good.
Yes, they are. Happy birthday, Mr. President, too. You just had a birthday. They're great. I love Jude. Before you today is a matter concerning the administrative costs submitted by the Department of Community Affairs for state fiscal year 2020 for the Universal Service Fund Program. On March 24th of this year, Department of Community Affairs submitted a detailed USF administrative report for fiscal year 2020, which listed actual expenditures at $6,212,756, representing a $405,687 or 6.1% less than what was budgeted and authorized on September 11th of 2019 at $6,618,443 for their administrative costs. The over budgeted amount was primarily the result of postage, overhead, and labor costs. Staff has reviewed the Department of Community Affairs expenses for the fiscal year 2020 and found that the costs therein appear appropriate and reasonable for the administration of the USF program. Therefore, staff recommends that the board find that the Department of Community Affairs has adequately justified the USF administrative expenditures for the fiscal year 2020 and authorize the Department of Treasury to reimburse the Department of Community Affairs for the amount of $6,212,756.
So moved. It's hard to hear you, Mariana.
I'm sorry, did Mariana move it?
I
didn't hear.
moved it.
I second it, yeah.
Second it, okay, thank you. Any questions or comments?
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
in reading the background for this item, there seemed to be some concern about whether the Department of Community Affairs would have their IT department would have the ability to get this done on time. Alice, can you comment on that, or
Would you
is there any
say
reason
on
we should
time?
be concerned about that?
I'm sorry, on time for the recovery of the costs?
Oh, just to get the modifications. I thought there had to be some program modifications undertaken.
Oh, this is not the, this matter doesn't deal with any program modifications. I think the best person to address that would be Maureen. And I don't handle that aspect of any program modifications for the USF.
Hi, Commissioner.
This is just the administrative pass-through of actual costs versus what, how they looked against their budget, which was approved.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
All right, Maureen,
Right.
Claire, did you want to add any?
I just wanted to say that we're going to be talking about the USF modifications in 9A, so we can.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm confusing this with 9A. Sorry.
That's okay. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
No other questions? Roll call, Ada?
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes,
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. Thank you, Alice.
You have a wonderful day.
Thank you, you too. That brings us to energy. And Stacy, 2A involving Bates White. Stacy,
Can't hear.
are you on mute, Stacy?
No, can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay, good.
Bates
Yes,
White?
yes,
2A.
item 2A relates to the final report submitted by Bates White for the 2021 basic generation service auctions. Staff has determined that with the submittal of its final report, the contractual obligations of Bates White to the board regarding the review and oversight of the BGS auction process for the supply period beginning June 1, 2021 have been fulfilled. Energy Division staff has reviewed the report and found it to be complete. Staff recommends that Bates White's report be accepted for filing by the board and that the redacted version be made available to the public via the board's website. Staff also recommends the board direct the Division of Treasury to provide final payment to Bates White for its work on the 2021 auctions.
Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? Roll call, Ada?
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. 2B, Stacy, involving the EDCs and FERC.
On April 28th, the state's 4 EDCs filed a joint petition requesting recovery of FERC-approved changes in firm transmission service-related charges. The EDCs requested approval to implement these revised tariff rates effective upon the board's approval and requested that suppliers be compensated effective January 1st, 2021 for the changes resulting from the implementation of the PSE&G and SFC formula rate, and effective March 1st, 2021 for the changes associated with JCP&L's settlement rate. The EDCs have represented that suppliers would be compensated subject to the terms and conditions of the applicable supplier master agreements and transmission amendments. Based on the allocation of the NITs and TECs among the service classes, the monthly bill for a residential customer using 650 kWh will change by approximately the following amounts: an increase of $2.27 for ACE, a decrease of 37 cents for JCP&L, an increase of 36 cents for PSE&G, and an increase of 73 cents for Rockland. Staff recommends the board approve the changes to the transmission rates requested by each EDC effective July 1st. Staff further recommends approval of the EDC's request to pay the suppliers at this time, subject to the terms and conditions of the SMAs and transmission amendments. Staff further recommends the board direct the EDCs to file revised tariffs by July 1st.
Second.
Questions, comments for Stacy? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes, and regarding transmission, I just want to make mention of the fact that NARUC and FERC are setting up a joint committee on transmission and transmission costs. I have applied to be a part of that committee because of the fact that transmission costs are have been becoming a major part of everyone's bill here in the state of New Jersey. So I thought it was prudent that New Jersey be represented on any committee. So obviously I'm waiting to hear whether or not I have been accepted to be a part of that joint committee. So I will certainly keep everyone up to date as to the progress or lack thereof as we continue. And it's supposed to be, from my understanding, a year-long process, and hopefully come out with some conclusions regarding transmission here in the United States in general. 2C, ACE and solar renewable
Yes.
energy certificates. Stacy?
On October 29th, Atlantic City Electric filed a petition related to its SREC 2 program. ACE requested authorization to carry forward unrecovered administrative fee balances for recovery in future periods, to maintain the SREC participant fee at $17.07, and to maintain the rider Reggie rate for the recovery of SREC program direct costs, which is currently 0. By board order dated December 16th of 2020, the board approved the continuation of the administrative fee at the previously approved 1707 per SREC for calendar year 2021, and noted that the parties would continue to review all other issues related to the petition. ACE made subsequent updates to the petition to reflect actual data through February of 2021. The parties have now executed a stipulation recommending that the board's previously approved SREC 2 fee of 1707 be maintained for the remainder of this calendar year, and that the rider Reggie rate applicable to the SREC 2 program cost be maintained at 0. There is no ratepayer impact as a result of the stipulation. Staff recommends the board issue an order approving the stipulation and directing ACE to file revised tariffs by July 1st.
Moved.
Second.
Questions, comments for Stacy? Roll call, please, Ada.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. Thank you, Stacy.
Have a good afternoon.
There are no items under cable television for consideration. That brings us down to telecommunications. Lawanda,
Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, Commissioners.
good morning. How are you today?
Very good, thank you. Item 4A deals with an initial decision from the Office of Administrative Law filed with the board recommending the dismissal of a complaint filed by Telecommunications against Verizon New Jersey due to Tenny's failure to file an amended petition as directed by the ALJ. Tenny operates as a payphone telephone service provider throughout the state using Verizon's backbone service. On May 10th, 2019, Tenny filed a petition with the board alleging incorrect billing by Verizon, which resulted in disconnection of certain service to certain phones. Tenny's petition requested the board issue an order directing Verizon to restore service, as well as cease its network transition, upgrading its traditional copper lines to fiber because the payphones were incompatible with the fiber lines. Verizon filed its answer to the petition on July 12, 2019. The parties met with board staff in an attempt to settle the matter, which was unsuccessful, resulting in the transmission of the matter to the Office of Administrative Law on August 19, 2020, as a contested case where the matter was assigned to ALJ Tricia Caliguire. During a telephone pre-hearing conference held on December 21st, 2020, Verizon stated its intention to file a motion to dismiss. In response, Tenny requested leave to amend its petition to add additional requested relief and remove claims no longer in dispute. This request was granted by ALJ Caliguire by order issued January 26, 2021, with the due date of February 16, 2021 for the filing of the amended petition. However, Tenny failed to file its amended petition as directed by the ALJ, nor did they request an extension or provide any explanation as to the missed deadline. On May 10, 2021, Tenny Journal was directed by the ALJ to file its amended petition within 10 days and notified that failure to comply with this order would result in the return of the matter to the board for further disposition. To date, Tenny has failed to respond to the ALJ's orders. Due to the lack of exigent circumstances, ALJ Caliguire found that Tenny has failed to support its case and issued an initial decision on June 7, 2021, recommending dismissal of Tenny's petition with prejudice. Staff finds ALJ Caliguire's recommendation is consistent with current law and recommends the board adopt the ALJ's initial decision dismissing the petition at this time.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second, thank you. Any questions or comments for Lawanda? Roll call, please, Ada.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden, Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon, Commissioner Gordon,
President time.
Yes.
oh, President Fiordaliso.
Yes. Mariana, are you having trouble with your volume?
Yeah, a little bit. I just having trouble in general here.
Okay,
So am I.
Why, but
okay. Anything we can do? Anything that has to be done? Or?
It's an Altice problem.
Gotcha, Bob. All right, that brings us to water. And first item is 5A and involves New Jersey American Water. Michael,
Yes, good morning, Mr. President and
good
Commissioners.
morning, Michael.
Item 5A is New Jersey American's annual purchased water or PWAC and purchased sewage treatment adjustment clause or PSTAC filing. On November 13th, 2020, New Jersey American Water Company filed a petition seeking approval to change the levels of its existing water adjustment clause and its purchased wastewater or sewage treatment adjustment charge with respect to increased purchased water and increased purchased wastewater treatment expenses. The company purchases water on a routine basis from 6 separate entities and purchases wastewater treatment services from 3 separate entities, each of which adjusts its rates for service, and in the case of wastewater service providers, issues sewage deficit credit adjustments at different times throughout the year. The PWAC and the PSTAC represents a dollar for dollar pass-through plus applicable taxes of New Jersey Americans' purchased water and purchased sewage treatment costs. The company does not earn a profit on its PWAC or its PSTAC. The board transmitted this matter to the Office of Administrative Law for hearing, and it was assigned to Administrative Law Judge Tricia Caliguire. ALJ Caliguire granted motions to intervene filed by Middlesex Water Company and the Mount Laurel Township MUA. Virtual public comment hearings were held via Zoom on April 27th at 4:30 and at 5:30. No members of the public attended either public hearing and no written comments have been received by the board. New Jersey American, the Division of Rate Counsel and board staff entered into a stipulation that resolved all issues that emanated from the proceeding. Middlesex and Mount Laurel did not object to the stipulation. The rate impact of the stipulation depends on where a customer lives in New Jersey American's service territory. ALJ Caliguire issued an initial decision recommending that the board adopt the stipulation, and staff recommends that the board adopt the initial decision.
so moved.
There you
Second.
go. Questions, comments for Michael? Hearing none, roll call, Ada.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes,
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. Michael, 5B also involves New Jersey American regarding their rates and charges.
Yes, it does. The 5B is the last remaining matter from New Jersey American's 2017 base rate case, docket number WR 17090985. This matter was filed, as I mentioned, in 2017. The board adopted an initial decision adjusted by ALJ Gertzman, recommending that the board adopt a partial stipulation, which among other things agreed to a base rate increase and further agreed to continue litigation of certain plan acquisition adjustments resulting from the New Jersey Americans acquisition of the former Shorelands Water Company and the water and sewer assets of the borough of Haddonfield. And this matter continued to litigate before Judge Gertzman. New Jersey American argued that the purchase price that it paid for both Shorelands and Haddonfield exceeded what would normally be included in rates. And what would normally be included in rates is the depreciated value of both Shorelands and Haddonfield. And the difference between the depreciated asset value and the purchase price is a plan acquisition adjustment. New Jersey American made various arguments regarding both acquisitions. Rate Counsel and staff rejected those arguments, and I am going to discuss each purchase separately. New Jersey American argued that the Shorelands acquisition benefited existing customers by allowing the company to optimize its water supply portfolio in that portion of Monmouth County. The company further argued that integrating the Shoreland system into New Jersey American's surrounding coastal north system allowed the company to avoid capital projects associated with finished water storage planned for the coastal north system, thus allowing the company to eliminate certain capital projects that it had planned in that part of the system. And with regard to Haddonfield, New Jersey American argued that the integration of that system with New Jersey American's existing water distribution system, thus improving the resiliency and water quality for both systems. The company further argued that the Haddonfield acquisition led to the decommissioning of Haddonfield's Center Street water treatment plant, which eliminated the need to undertake a costly upgrade to that facility. The company also argued that the decommissioning of the Center Street water treatment plant also benefited both the former customers of Haddonfield and New Jersey American's existing customers because their combined water supply needs are served by New Jersey American's existing facilities at a lower price for customer cost and improved water age in the distribution system. Finally, New Jersey American argued that both the Haddonfield customers and Shoreland customers benefited by having access to the company's call centers and online account services. And New Jersey American additionally argued that the acquisition of both systems led to certain economies of scale, thus creating additional value for all customers. Rate Counsel argued that the Shorelands acquisition cost ratepayers approximately $3 million more, but they would not have to pay if the acquisition had not proceeded. Rate Counsel further argued that the revenues associated with the Haddonfield customers were not adequate to satisfy the revenue requirement for the Haddonfield system, and that New Jersey American's additional investments have further increased the cost of providing service to Haddonfield customers. Middlesex Water Company, which was granted intervenor status in this matter, argued that no portion of the planned acquisition adjustment should be charged to Middlesex, and therefore, by extension, should not be reflected in the rates of Middlesex's customer. Staff argued that the planned acquisition adjustments should be denied because both the Shorelands and Haddonfield did not benefit New Jersey American's existing customers. The New Jersey Stockholders Association supported the proposed planned acquisition adjustment. ALJ Gertzman issued an initial decision recommending that the board deny New Jersey American's request to include the planned acquisition adjustments in rates. He further noted that the board has issued multiple orders on the subject of planned acquisition adjustments, including one involving South Jersey Gas Company and one involving Elizabethtown Water Company, that stated that planned acquisition adjustments should be recognized in rates only when the system benefits existing customers, or in the case of Elizabethtown Water Company, if the company was acquiring a troubled system. And it should be noted that no one is arguing that either Shorelands or Haddonfield were troubled systems. Staff recommends that the board adopt the initial decision and put this matter to rest and deny the planned acquisition adjustments for both Shorelands and Haddonfields.
Moved.
Second.
Questions, comments for Michael?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Mike, I just have a quick question on this high and low gradient tank. And then you have on page 7, you say HGL tank. What is HGL tank?
That's just the name of the water tank.
Oh, the name of it's not high. It has nothing to do with the high, low grade. Oh,
No.
Nice.
It's all of the water tanks have names.
oh, I see. Okay. All right. That's good. HGL, whatever they. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments for Mike? Roll call, please, Ada.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
There are no items under reliability and security to be considered. That brings us to customer assistance, where again, there are no items for consideration. And we're into clean energy. 8A. Kelly, I see that you're presenting it. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct, Mr. President. Good morning, Mr. President and Commissioners.
Are you feeling better?
Item 8A is in the matter of the comprehensive resource analysis for fiscal year 22 clean energy program. Staff is pleased to present recommendations on funding levels. As the commissioners are aware, ADECA required the board to initially undertake a comprehensive resource analysis every 4 years. Since 2012, this has been done on an annual basis. Given the ongoing discussions related to the energy efficiency transition and program administration, staff has drafted another 1-year comprehensive resource analysis. The CRA straw proposal includes the level of funding estimated to meet the needs of the clean energy program. For FY22, staff is recommending the board set an SBC funding level of $344,665,000, which is the same funding level approved by the board since FY15. On May 7th, 2021, via the BPU listserv and NJCEP website, the board provided public notice of a May 25th public hearing. This notice stated that the draft of the straw proposal would be released during the week of May 17th. On May 18th, staff released the CRA straw proposal and other FY22 program and budget documents. A public hearing regarding the CRA, along with those programs and budgets and compliance filings, was held via webinar on May 25th, and comments were accepted through June 4th. The CRA straw proposal recommends that $344,665,000 in new SBC funding be approved for FY22. Staff is recommending that this be allocated across energy efficiency programs, DER programs, renewable energy, EDA programs, planning and administration, BPU initiatives, and the state energy initiative. $87 million is being allocated to the state energy initiatives. When combined with the new funding and other sources of funding, which include prior commitments carried over from FY21, the total new proposed FY22 funding level is $581,106,880. Staff estimates that the proposed FY22 funding level will be sufficient to maintain a full portfolio of programs. Staff has also determined that by maintaining the FY21 SBC level in FY22, there will be no incremental impact on rates. The CRA straw proposal sets out in detail the rationale utilized by staff in developing the FY22 funding level. Having reviewed and considered the comments regarding the proposed FY22 funding level, staff recommends the board set, adopt, and approve the proposed FY22 funding level and proposed FY22 utility payments.
So moved.
Okay. Second. Yeah.
Questions, comments, please, for Kelly? Hearing none, roll call, please, Ada.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. And some folks listening in might wonder why there aren't many more questions from the commissioners. And it's because the staff makes a concerted effort to keep us briefed on issues that will be coming before us. And those briefings really answer an awful lot of the questions that we as commissioners have, and so on. So I just want to continue to thank staff for ensuring the fact that all of us as commissioners are kept abreast of exactly what's happening. So, and that brings us then, Kelly, to 8B, matter of clean energy programs and budget for the fiscal year 2022.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. The next item addresses the clean energy programs and budgets planned for FY22. New Jersey's clean energy program promotes increased energy efficiency and the use of clean, renewable sources of energy. The results for New Jersey are a stronger economy, less pollution, lower costs, and reduced demand for electricity. Staff is guided in the development of this budget and programs to meet the objectives set forth in various clean energy initiatives, including the Clean Energy Act, which places considerable emphasis on the important role of energy efficiency, in addition to requiring a transition of the solar program, as well as setting energy storage and benchmarking goals, OEDA, and New Jersey's EV Act, among others. Staff is further led by the strategies detailed in the Energy Master Plan, which sets forth a roadmap for meeting the 100% clean energy by 2050 goals. Finally, staff's efforts are highly focused on equity and ensuring the benefits of clean energy and the clean energy economy are enjoyed by all residents. The clean energy budget is developed to achieve these clean energy goals and designed with staff and our program administrator TRC's involvement before being issued for public comment. Notice was distributed to the BPU listserv about the posting to the New Jersey Clean Energy Program website of the following proposed FY22 documents: the Division of Clean Energy Compliance Filing, TRC Program Descriptions and Budgets, the Charge Up New Jersey Compliance Filing, the Comfort Partners Compliance Filing, the proposed FY22 budget, and the CRA straw proposal as previously mentioned. The distributions and postings requested comments on these documents with a due date of June 4th, 2021. As mentioned previously, on May 25th, 2021, staff hosted a webinar and presented an overview of proposed new NJCEP initiatives along with the program changes for FY22 and accepted public comment at that meeting. In addition, the New Jersey DEP confirmed that the board had consulted with the NJDEP regarding the CRA straw proposal and the FY22 funding level, and the NJDEP agreed with the proposed FY22 funding level. This budget is consistent with the funding levels approved in the CRA order. Based on the goals set forth in the CRA straw proposal, the policy objectives of the NJCEP, and historic spend rates, staff in close coordination with our TRC program administrator developed the proposed programs and budgets. The total budget for the Clean Energy Program includes both new funding and prior commitments which were carried over from FY21. The following summary summarizes some key programs and funding levels. The FY22 budget allocates more than $137 million in new funding to energy efficiency, including but not limited to over $45 million for the low-income residents via Comfort Partners, $16.5 million to support the energy efficiency transition, $7.3 million for State Facilities Initiative, and $3 million for the acoustical testing pilot program. Funding for the EE programs transitioning to the utilities has been provided for for the limited purposes of processing applications received prior to June 30th and ensuring a smooth transition which limits customer and contractor confusion. The budget includes over $11.6 million in new funding for renewable energy programs, including $8.9 million for offshore wind and $2.6 million for solar registration. FY22 budget also covers the cost for administration, including staff's salaries and our partnerships with Sustainable Jersey and NJIT. Additionally, $12.7 million in new funding has been budgeted for program evaluation and analysis to continue the efforts on several critical studies approved by the board, as well as to engage in several new studies to track and report progress in meeting the EMP goals and ensure increased oversight of our programs. Additionally, several key BPU initiatives continue to receive new funding, including $505,000 for community energy grants, which will be redesigned and relaunched with board approval in FY22, as well as $20 million for energy storage. Lastly, the FY22 budget allocates approximately $41.9 million in new funding for EV incentives. Specifically, $30 million will continue to annually support the Plug-in EV Incentive Fund, $4.4 million for Charge Up New Jersey, $6 million for state vehicle fleets, and $1 million for municipal clean fleet. Concurrent with the release of the budget, staff also released a straw proposal related to the design of the EV Year 2 program and incentive structure and had a separate public meeting on that design. Comments and responses to that document are included in the compliance filings and informed staff's recommendation for the Year 2 programming, which is expected to commence in the summer of 2021 and will be funded through this budget if approved. Therefore, staff has reviewed and considered the comments received and recommends the board approve the processes utilized in developing the detailed FY22 program budgets contained in the order, as well as the FY22 program budget and compliance filings.
Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I move it, yeah.
Second.
Okay. Questions, comments for Kelly regarding the budget?
Yeah, thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Go on, Mariana.
Hopefully this is working. I'll shout into the microphone.
We're hearing you fine, by the way.
Okay. I want to thank staff for working with commissioners on the state energy initiatives item in particular. We haven't had a lot of transparency or job sequencing to see where we are, where the pitfalls are, if it's problems other departments. So we're more able to shift money or understand why money is shifted around or why it hasn't been expended. And so I'm very excited about the promise of the regular reporting and the interaction that this board has with the various agencies that are sort of tying up the funds, and we want them to use them. So thank you for that. And also, I'm always thank you for the acoustical testing program.
Upendra?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Kelly, I have a couple of questions. This under the BPU initiatives, you have EV grid assessment with EDA. What is that? I didn't catch that. Yeah.
Yes, Commissioner, thank you for the question. There are a number of programs that are going on, and as you know, the board recently approved investigation into our grid modernization process. We have slated funds to ensure that we are integrating all of the various initiatives. As you know, electric vehicles, particularly medium and heavy duty electric vehicles, could have a big impact on the grid, and we want to make sure that there are funds that are available to do that investigation. This is something that would come before the board, however, for your decision.
So they meaning EDA will do the grid assessment, or this is just, I'm quite curious why EDA is there. That's my question.
We are currently, Commissioner, we're currently investigating whether it's best done through a partnership to save on the effort or something that could be done independently by us. The EDA and our other sister agencies have been working in partnership on advancing particularly medium and heavy duty. And so we will return to the board for any decision related to that, but it may be that we can do this in a cost-effective way, partnering with one of our sister agencies.
Thank you, Kelly. I have a couple of other questions. This NJIT Learning Center. So what is going on? What is the kind of how are things going? I mean,
yeah, they're going great. NJIT provides us with videos and other learning modules that enable us to do additional outreach and education on a variety of our different programs. So they come up to speed really quickly, and they're able to put out accessible videos that can go out to the public, in addition to helping us with other outreach initiatives. So they've been a good partner of ours for a number of years.
Yeah. Well, final question about the conference. I know we haven't had a clean energy conference in a couple of years, with good reasons, COVID and all that. Are we planning to have something in the near future now that state is opening up? Yeah.
Yeah, our hope, Commissioner, is that we will be able to do that. We've got a tremendous amount of exciting things that are going on here at the Board of Public Utilities, and I think a wonderful opportunity for us to let everyone know about the great work that's being done. We are working on those plans right now and hope to be able to get back to you on that in the near future, but that is our hope.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Any other questions or comments for Kelly? I do. I too want to thank the Clean Energy Program, you, Kelly, and your team, Sarah Bloom, for really bringing light on the assistance that the Board of Public Utilities provides to state agencies. The state has to be a leader and is a leader in clean energy usage. And through the Office of State Facilities, that is one way for the state to demonstrate to the general public what can be done to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So thank you again, Kelly and Sarah, for keeping the commissioners up to date, keeping us all up to date on these vital programs that only continue to contribute to the welfare and the health of New Jersey residents. The Clean Energy Program helps New Jersey residents and business owners save money while saving the planet. I think this budget, if approved, allows us to continue our work toward 100% clean energy and an 80% reduction in emissions by 2050. The budget also provides funds for year 2 of our hugely successful Charge Up New Jersey electric vehicle incentive program, which has already helped over 6,000 New Jersey residents make the switch to an EV vehicle. The transportation sector, as you well know, accounts for over 40% of the greenhouse gas emissions here in the state of New Jersey. By choosing to drive electric, we can help reduce these harmful pollutants and improve air quality for all New Jersey state residents. I went on a tour last week or the week before, I forget which one, looking at areas that need environmental justice, generally our underserved communities, where residents are integrated with industrial sites. It's important, not only for our underserved communities, but communities throughout the state of New Jersey, to be in an environment that's healthier, to look where environmental justice is not being met, and to correct it. And I think it's so important that we keep that in mind as we proceed, not only with environmental justice, but with our transportation sector. And I'd like to really, as far as the transportation electric vehicles are concerned, recognize BPU's own Kathleen Lewis for her work to ensure the success of the EV incentive programs. Kathleen, thank you for your dedication to run our BPU mission, and congratulations on your recent promotion to E-Mobility Programs Manager, Electric Mobility Programs Manager. We have so many dedicated employees like Kathleen, and I can name a litany of people within the Board of Public Utilities that are driving the force, that are driving the vision of the governor, who have bought into the vision to make New Jersey a fairer and healthier place to live. We're looking forward to the launch of year 2 of this summer, as we enter to meet the target of 330,000 electric vehicles registered in the state of New Jersey by 2025. We would have no way of doing that. We would have no way of meeting goals in solar or wind without the dedication and the unwavering commitment of the staff that we have here at the Board of Public Utilities. And we could look at the staff from A to Z here. On the regulatory side, what those staff members are doing on a daily basis to ensure that the ratepayers of the state of New Jersey are getting what they pay for. So on behalf of the board, I just want to thank each and every one of our employees for your dedication and your work in making New Jersey a better place. And we are recognized throughout the United States for our aggressive agenda and the outstanding job that each and every one of you are doing. And I tell them every time, here at the BPU, we have the best staff in state government. Thank you, Kelly, and you're going to come back on another item, I know, but thank you for this. Roll call,
Thank you.
please, Ada. Unless someone had another comment. I'm sorry, roll call, Ada.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. And that brings us to 8D. Mr. Hunter, you're up. On the transition incentive program, Scott?
Yes, sir. Sorry. Still navigating Zoom after all these months.
I know. One of these days, we're going to master it.
That's right.
Okay.
President and Commissioners, this agenda item relates to staff's recommendation concerning requests for extensions of project completion deadline in the Transition Incentive Program. The Transition Incentive, or TI program, was designed to ensure a smooth and efficient transition from the SREC registration program to a new solar incentive program, solar successor incentive program, which is currently under development. The TI program was open to projects registered in the SREC program that did not meet the project completion deadlines and was open to new registrations starting on May 1st, 2020. The board established the program via board orders in December 2019, January 2020, and issued a blanket extension to projects via board order in July 2020. The TI program rules were adopted on October 5th, 2020. Reflecting the interim nature of the program, the TI rules contain no provision for extension of the project deadlines. On April 26, 2021, staff released its straw proposal for the Solar Successor Incentive Program. In addition to details on the successor program design, the straw contains staff's proposal for closing the TI program to new registrants. Following consideration of these comments and incorporation as appropriate, staff will make a recommendation to the board, which is anticipated to be addressed in a future board order. Several commenters recommended extensions to various deadlines associated with the TI program. To date, staff has received 6 petitions for extension of the TI program project completion deadlines. The petitioners cite unanticipated project delays due to interconnection issues, COVID-related impacts to supply chains, and carport permitting issues as extenuating circumstances. Staff is concerned that many solar project developers and installers will be unable to meet the TI program deadlines to qualify for an incentive under the program and are finding it difficult to arrange for construction-related financing due to the risk of missing the October 30th, 2020 deadline, and would likely seek an extension through our petition process. Therefore, staff recommends the board find that good cause exists for a waiver of the program's TI program rules at Title 14, Chapter 8, Subchapter 10.4 D and E, and that requiring full compliance with these timelines would adversely impact New Jersey ratepayers, and grant projects registered in the TI incentive program on or before the effective date of the order, including Community Solar Pilot Program Year 1 projects, an automatic 6-month extension to the latter of April 30th, 2022, or their existing deadline established in the New Jersey Administrative Code. And finally, grant subsection T applicants registered in the TI program on or before the effective date of this order an extension to the later of April 30th, 2022, or the date set by the board order granting the project's conditional certification.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? We'll be taking action on this, and if approved, in providing these extensions to projects currently registered in the Transition Incentive Program, I think it represents this board's commitment, as it has, as we've shown over the past 15, 16 years that I've been on the board's commitment and support for a strong solar industry. And I frankly just have to say this to kind of get it off my chest a little bit. I frankly resent any suggestions that this board, over the time that I've been on it and the time that many of my colleagues have been on, that this support has not been evident. And we want a vibrant solar industry. Solar industry today employs close to 7,000 people. We would do nothing to destroy or weaken the solar industry. But like everything else in life, things do change. And this is the second major change, this transmission or transition incentive, the TI program, that I've seen since I've been on the board. Throughout the implementation of the transition incentive program, we have made every effort to be transparent with stakeholder meetings, transparent with the industry, particularly with respect to deadlines and program rules. However, the past year has been exceptional. And we recognize that the combination of COVID and the ongoing transition from SREC program has presented unique challenges to the solar industry. And we're sensitive to that. Today's extension, if approved, is a reflection of those exceptional circumstances and of the board's commitment to providing regulatory certainty to the solar developers. Anyone have any other questions or comments that they would like to make before we take a vote?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I think it's a transition. This is what the program is all about. So someday the transition has to end. I just have one quick question for Scott. Scott, and the final recommendation, I was just looking at it, and is that the projects must commence commercial operations and developers must submit all post-construction certification approach prior to a project's registration expiration date, which would be October 30th. Is that what it is? Or will there be any extensions if they don't meet that requirement?
The current deadline for projects that had previously registered before that July 2020 order, that July 2020 order extended the deadline to October 30th, 2021. And then projects that registered after that got a different deadline, one that was after October 30th, 2020. So what we're recommending with this order is a blanket extension of those projects that are registered before the effective date of this order. And we're also recommending the board direct staff to initiate rulemaking to clarify some inconsistencies in our current rules. Just to clarify that not only is the permission to operate, the commencement of commercial operations required by each individual project's deadline, but that also that they have to submit all post-construction certification paperwork. There's an inconsistency in our rules. And we would just want to make sure, we've been communicating that through our project acceptance letters, but we wanted to make sure that the rules are tightened up so that it's consistent across the board. There's no question projects have to submit all of their post-construction paperwork, because that was a loose end with the SREC program that was causing some headaches. We want to make sure that the TI program has a clean transition to successor.
Yeah, thank you for that clarification, Scott. The project's registration expiration date varies from project to project, or
It does.
It
Yes,
does.
sir.
That's what. So as long as it is done before October 30th, is that?
Well, that was the previous deadline for older projects, those that
Right.
transferred from SREX to TREX.
T-Rex.
Those that registered early in our program. But now with this new deadline, it will be 6 months from what their previous deadline was.
And subsection T projects will be extended into April, right? Is that?
Or the later of their conditional certification, because subsection T projects get 2 years of a registration term. And all the other projects got 1 year. I
1
think
year.
community solar got 18 months. But so each class of projects has a different term that they're eligible for.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions or comments for Scott regarding this item?
Just one comment, Joe.
Sure.
Yeah, I just want to, thank the, whole solar team for, keeping us abreast of what's going on and really walking us, which is through a very, I don't want to say confusing, but, technical evaluation as we move forward. And, we've had a number of briefings, and I think that we've all, through this experience, have raised our awareness level of regarding this transition, and they've just done a great job in keeping us informed.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, Ada?
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. I have to, at this point, correct an oversight on my part. Item 8C, which we considered in executive session. I indicated at the beginning of the meeting that we would take action on this item, and indeed we will. So I'm going to go back to Kathleen Lewis and have her walk us through this. Kathleen?
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for your kind words. 8C, as discussed in executive session before you is a memorandum of understanding, which will allow the NJDEP to expend Reggie funds originally allocated to the NJBPU from the proceeds of the 2020 auction. New Jersey participated in the Reggie auction in March of 2020. The auctions are held quarterly, and New Jersey must report annually on the projects that are funded through those auction proceeds. The 2020 auction allocated $17.6 million to the BPU. DEP will use those funds for projects that fulfill BPU statutory obligations. The MOU also provides BPU with the ability to grant the DEP the authority to do so in future years, but it does not require it. Staff recommends approving this MOU.
Moved.
Second.
Questions or comments for Kathleen? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. And Kelly, you're back for 8E on an item relating to Princeton University.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. This item pertains to a commercial and industrial energy efficiency incentive exceeding $500,000. Princeton University submitted an application under the Pay for Performance, or P4P, new construction program. University requests board approval of a financial incentive of $626,502.95 for a new construction project located at Princeton University Residential Colleges on Elm Drive and South Drive in Princeton. The residential colleges at the university will be comprised of dorms, residential apartment units, student study rooms, activity spaces, and other support spaces. Additionally, the building includes a significant kitchen and dining component catering nearly 2,500 to 3,000 meals per day. The project is distributed across 8 buildings with the kitchen and dining halls on the lower level connecting the different buildings. This is a ground up new construction project with a total conditioned square footage of 432,071 feet. The project will include energy efficiency enhancements performing above code, including efficient wall and floor insulation, high performance windows, interior LED lighting, high efficiency food service equipment, efficient HVAC, energy recovery ventilation, and low flow shower heads and faucets. The project is estimated to save 952,778 kilowatt hours annually compared to an ASHRAE 90.1 2013 baseline, with overall source energy savings of 17.2%. The project is estimated to save $134,957 annually compared to that code baseline, with overall cost savings of 16.5%. Based on the certifications and the information provided by the program manager and program administrator, staff recommends approval of the application for the total estimated incentive amount of $626,502.95 and the issuance of a standard commitment letter to the applicant setting forth the terms and conditions of this commitment.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments for Kelly on this item? Yes, Mariana?
Oh, I just did my briefing. I said to Kelly that she had me at shower heads because my former aide, Rob Glover, really fought for a shower head program. So glad to see that someone's taking advantage of it. And it will be a tremendous savings.
There you go. Very good. Any other comments or questions? Everyone sees Kelly's background with Chloe there. I know I mentioned this at a previous board meeting, but we received, the board of Public Utilities received, was it 3 Telly Awards, Kelly? For advertising, marketing?
2 Telly Awards.
Yeah.
Gold and silver.
And of course, she's lighting the way to a clean energy future. So that's our Chloe. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. Thank you, Kelly. That brings us to miscellaneous item 9A. Maureen Claire, you're up.
All right. Good morning, commissioners. It's
Good morning.
As you are aware, it has been a tough 16 months for so many New Jersey families. Many utility customers have fallen behind on their bills and would be in danger of shut off were it not for the current protections in place until the end of 2021. Due to these circumstances, the Division of Rate Counsel petitioned the board requesting, among other things, that the board consider expanding its Universal Service Fund, or USF, program and consider arrearage forgiveness for utility customers facing significant overdue balances and financial hardship caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. In response, the board established working groups where discussions took place with respect to expanding existing utility assistance programs. The working group participants, which included state agencies, the utility companies, advocacy groups, and nonprofits, were invited to actively participate in biweekly discussions and provide input and ideas regarding various proposals for changes to the existing programs, while balancing the needs of the customer and the interests of the utilities. As a result of the working group's discussions, staff recommends modifications to the board's USF program beginning October 1st, 2021, which marks the beginning of the next USF program year. Currently, to be eligible for a USF monthly credit, a customer needs to be income eligible and spend over a certain percentage of their income on energy. This percentage of income is called the energy affordability threshold and currently currently set at 3% of annual income for gas and non-heating electric costs, and it's set at 6% of income for electric heating costs. Staff recommends the following modifications to USF. That USF income limits be increased from 185% of the federal poverty level to 400%. And for example, for a family of 4, that would be increasing the income limits from about $48,000 a year to $104,000 a year. Second, the USF benefit calculation to be set at a minimum of $5 a month to any applicant who meets the income requirement. So any income eligible applicant would essentially receive USF. Third, the USF benefit cap to be increased from $150 per month to $180 per month. And fourth, the USF energy affordability threshold be reduced from 3% of annual income for gas and non-heating electric to 2% of income. And the USF energy affordability threshold be reduced from 6% of annual income for electric heat to 4% of income. Staff recommends that on October 1st, 2023, after a 2-year period is over, all pre-pandemic USF program policies resume unless otherwise directed by the board. Staff additionally recommends on behalf of the working group that any disconnected customer who demonstrates he or she has applied for the state's utility assistance programs be reconnected by their gas or electric company upon request so that the customer may obtain the available benefits. As a result of the working group's discussion, staff also recommends temporary modifications to the board's USF Fresh Start arrearage forgiveness program beginning October 1st, 2021. So currently, to be enrolled in Fresh Start, you need to be a first-time USF participant and owe at least $60 to your utility company. And each month, the Fresh Start customer pays their current monthly bill in full over a 12-month period. The customer earns forgiveness on 1/12 of their overdue utility balance, and the forgiveness is capped at $100 a month until the end of the program. Staff recommends the following modifications to Fresh Start for the next 2 years. Number 1, the utilities would enroll any USF participant with $60 or more in arrearages into Fresh Start, regardless of past participation at the time of the customer's enrollment or recertification into USF. Number 2, the 100.
You froze on us, Maureen. Maureen, you might want to sign out and sign right back in. You froze on us. There you go.
Okay.
You're unfrozen.
Okay, you can hear me still?
Now we can, yes.
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
So I'll start at number 1 for Fresh Start. So the utilities would enroll any USF participant with $60 or more in arrearages into Fresh Start, regardless of past participation in USF at the time the customer enrolls in USF or recertifies. Number 2, the $100 monthly cap on Fresh Start forgiveness would be waived so that 1/12 of the overdue balance would be forgiven each month, no matter how high, as long as the customer pays their current bill in full. Number 3, the utilities would apply any federal arrearage forgiveness to Fresh Start balances before current balances in order to maximize federal funding. Number 4, if a customer is participating in the current Fresh Start program when the modifications go into effect, the utility company would remove the customer from the current Fresh Start program when they recertify, apply any earned forgiveness, and then enroll the customer into the modified Fresh Start program. And if the Fresh Start customer does not recertify after October 1st, they would just complete their Fresh Start year according to the current program guidelines. And that would not prohibit them from re-enrolling in the new Fresh Start program later. Number 5, customers would be removed from any deferred payment arrangement upon enrollment into Fresh Start, as that's in the best interest of the customer. And number 6, the Fresh Start customer would be found in compliance with Fresh Start in regards to payment for supply and delivery charges only. Staff recommends that on October 1st, 2023, after the 2-year period is over, all pre-pandemic Fresh Start program policies resume unless otherwise directed by the board. Staff in the working group believe that these changes to USF and Fresh Start will provide the opportunity for not only low income, but also moderate income customers to enroll in USF, to receive higher monthly USF credits, to earn forgiveness on overdue utility balances through Fresh Start, as well as reestablish payment compliance with their utility companies. These changes would also maximize federal funding, which benefits ratepayers. Staff furthermore requests that the board order the utility companies to make the necessary changes to their billing systems to accommodate for Fresh Start modifications by October 1st, 2021. Staff also requests the board to order the Department of Community Affairs, which is the USF program administrator, to make the necessary changes to the USF database system to accommodate for these changes by October 1st. Newly eligible customers will therefore have time to take advantage of the program expansions before the end of the grace period on residential shutoffs. Board staff appreciates the time and effort of the working group committed to developing these recommendations and believes they're in both the interest of the utility customers and the utility companies. Therefore, staff recommends the board approve these temporary modifications to its USF and Fresh Start programs.
Moved.
Second.
Questions, comments from Maureen?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I just want to commend Maureen and the team for, it's a very difficult area, USF fund, and trying to come up with 3% threshold for gas and 6% for electricity and 400% for federal poverty level. I think it's going to be interesting. This Fresh Start program is good for 2 years. Just have one quick question to Maureen. So, suppose I have arrears in the utilities, and then I because I can enroll myself in the Fresh Start program. So what happens to the past arrears that will be written off by utilities?
Well, we recommend that the utility companies apply any federal arrearage forgiveness dollars first to take advantage of that federal funding. And then any remainder would be worked into the USF electric and gas rates at the annual compliance filing.
Okay, thank you.
Bob, did you have a question?
Yeah, I'd like to repeat the question I raised before. Based on the background materials, there seemed to be some concerns, I thought, about the ability of the IT staff at DCA to implement the programmatic changes. Do we have any concern about that?
I've met with the DCA CIO and the programmers and gone over all the changes in detail with them. They're confident they can do at least 2 of them, and they're going to try to do all 4 of them by the deadline. And we're going to be meeting with them every other week to check on their progress and just follow up.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Maureen, I too want to commend you and the team that has been meeting. And again, it just goes across the board here as far as our team here at the BPU is concerned. The job that you do and the people who contribute to it really deserve commendation. I can think of no better person than you, Maureen, to be doing this job. One that is so vital to so many people. So thank you. And throughout the pandemic, the BPU, our sister agencies, as Maureen mentioned, DCA as an example, and the utilities worked really together to ensure no one was disconnected from essential utility services if they were unable to pay their bills. Through Executive Order number 246, the governor announced that the shut-off moratorium would end on July 1st, followed by a 6-month, as I mentioned earlier in the meeting, period, for customers to apply for assistance without fear of disconnection. When the grace period ends December 31, customers with past due balances risk disconnection if they have not been able to pay their bills and have not arranged a payment agreement or enrolled in an assistance program. So vital. Please reach out to your utilities. Our concerted effort now is to connect as many customers as possible to the assistance programs that could make a difference in their budgets and unpaid balances. These updates to the USF and the Fresh Start programs are critical in ensuring more families and individuals can qualify for financial assistance and bill forgiveness as we begin our economic recovery from this pandemic. I encourage everyone to share this information within your networks and communities. Please, if you're struggling to pay your utility bills, reach out for help. We urge anyone behind on their bills to contact their utilities or apply for assistance online by calling 211. Details about available programs can be found also on our BPU website. So please do your research and get the help you need if you need that help. Roll call, please, Ada.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. I want to thank everyone who dialed in to see us today. Also, just a last minute reminder, our next meeting, special meeting, will be June 30th at 11 a.m. And it will be the first in-person meeting of all the commissioners. But for the general public, it will be live streamed, just as this meeting has been live streamed. So we will certainly keep you up to date when the meetings will be available to the general public in person. So with that, if there are no other comments or by anyone, I'll accept a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you and stay safe, everyone.